Good morning, everyone. How are you? Welcome to this live stream. My name is Matthew Archambault from drawingtutorialsonline.com. And in this live stream, what we're going to be doing here is doing value studies. And I think value studies are going to be really, really important. Let me see here. I got my volume. I'm seeing an ad. I have my video up at the same time. Sorry for that. Let's say hello. Hey, Tim, welcome. Angie, welcome. Sandy, welcome from Northern Ireland. Willow, 3, good morning. Or Smile. Nancy, good morning to you as well. Aura, 2 live streams in a row. You caught yesterday and today's. Helen, welcome. So let's get started. I'm going to dive into this right away today. It's a rainy Saturday. I think today is my day that I have to set up the Christmas tree, which means bringing up tons of dusty boxes from the basement. I'm really not looking forward to it. But as of late, I've been a little bit of a Scrooge. Hey, Beth, welcome from Long Island. Where are you on Long Island? Not that I'm asking you to say exactly where you're living, but Nassau, Suffolk. I'm in Eastern Suffolk. Neil, welcome. Cambridge, UK. And speaking of Suffolk, we got that name from the UK. All kinds of Melvin, Sam, Dana. Welcome, Dana. Dennis, welcome. Angie. Carol. Wiltshire in the UK. Nice. And hi, Sankara, welcome. All right, so Peter, welcome to the live stream. And Ash. All right. So we have a lot of people here. Okay, so a couple things. Joseph, welcome. Little Miss Random, you were visiting with us yesterday. Port Jefferson, that's like with no traffic, like 25 minutes away from where I live, Beth. I love Port Jeff. My father-in-law used to have a sailboat. He moved off of Long Island, but he used to have a sailboat right over there near, I guess it's Gurney's, I don't know. And just taking the ferries over to Connecticut. I love that area. I'm really familiar with it. I'm just like 25 minutes from you. S. Salenki, Anna, welcome. Anna Kim, gonna see you on Wednesday with sketches, Anna. Color studies, right? Marie, good morning, Marie. Say hello to the cats for me. Megana. All right, so let me get started here because I know your time is valuable. Welcome from India. So let's get started. Icarus. I hope I said your name right. Marissa Schmidt. Awesome. South Australia. Yeah, we're neighbors, Beth, no doubt. Okay. Ace, welcome. So in today's live stream, what I want to share with you, S. Salenki, I don't know if I said your name correctly. I want to share with you the importance of creating value studies. Now, what is a value study? A value study, well, what are values? Okay, so this is going to be a little bit more beginner here today. Yes, Anna. So basically, these are values. So this is an old value that a teacher gave me many, many years ago. He was a friend, and I saw this value scale, and he's like, take one. He had like tons of them. The company gave these to him. And so what we're going to be working with here today is a light, a middle tone, and a dark. Okay, so these are all, these are, I guess, 9 values here. Pure black being maybe number 1 and pure white being maybe number 10. I don't know. I don't really use this particular value scale, but it's a good one. Let me get my head out of the scene here. Here's one that I've used a lot, and I don't love it because these all kind of look too similar, these values for me. However, the goal for this morning is to do what I like to call a 3-value study. Okay, so we're going to use, let's just say a dark, because a dark could be a dark middle tone or a jet black. It doesn't matter, just a dark. Then we're going to use a middle tone, which is usually like a number 5 value, which is right in the middle. And we're going to use a light. Now, a light doesn't need to be white. It could be a value number 9. As a matter of fact, if you can use like a dark, so there should be a value in between these two. This is too much of a jump of value there for my taste. Okay, so when I used to learn how to paint, My teacher taught us the value scale, but it was 10 values and 0 was black. Okay, so this is what we do when we go to the museum. I have a museum class at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and we go to the museum and we do value studies, and that's our day of composition. And there's like 5 different things that I teach in the composition class, and one of the most valuable things that we start off with is the value study. And I'm going to get started here in 1 second. Let me just give you a little bit of more background to this to kind of give it all context, okay? So most people, when they work on an illustration, a final piece of art, or a painting, or a digital painting, or anything like that, they never take the time, not everyone, but a lot of people who are just starting out, they never take the time to do a value study, okay? And value studies are truly the most important thing, and you could do them in literally 5 minutes. They don't need to be this thing that's going to take you forever. Hey, Paul, I understand that people just want to dive right into the final digital painting. They want to dive right into the final oil painting, or just dive into their final image, but take like 5 to 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Hey, Danny, you got it, man. And do a value study. And that's what I'm going to do for you here today. And I'm going to use 3 different materials. Today, I'm not going to use my Col-Erase pencil. I'm going to use graphite, which I never use, but I'm just going to have fun and do something different for you guys on the live stream. I'm going to use graphite. I'm going to use a mechanical pencil and with graphite, and I'm going to use a pen. Okay, this ballpoint pen that I stole from my wife's office, but don't tell her. Okay, now this one's a little big for me to do a value study because it does take time to put the value down with this little pencil point. So 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches. This little one is 1.75 inches by 3. And this one over here, I don't want to move the value scale because it's good for the camera to have something dark on the monitor when you're filming against white paper. Okay, so with all this being said, let's get started. And let me move that up. And just a side note for members of drawingtutorialsonline.com who are visiting here with me today, Tuesday, we're going to have a live class with a model via Zoom. And this class is going to be all about gesture drawing. I asked one of the models from the School of Visual Arts to work with me. She has a perfect setup. She has really good light and shade. Look for the Zoom information in your email this weekend. I'm going to set up the Zoom meeting. That's going to happen 4:30 Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday afternoon. I hope you can join me there with that. All right. Cool. Yeah, it's going to be really fun. So it's going to be like 1.5 hours, and I'll teach you a couple of techniques, and then we will draw with the model doing 2-minute gestures and 3-minute gestures, and her poses are awesome. So that class is going to be really all about gesture drawing. All right, let's dive into it. So this is what we do here at the museum, at the Met. So what I would say to my students is, okay, let's just get the big shapes for this. So I'm working, this is a John Singer Sargent painting. If you just Google John Singer Sargent, you'll find all of these images. Now, when I Google images, hey, Kat, no worries. Ace, welcome. When I Google images, I always Google large images. I never waste my time with looking for small images because I'm always using them in my class in Photoshop, and I want them to be, I shouldn't be this exact with this. Let's just kind of crank through this. So right to the corner. Okay, so for that scene that you see, that John Singer Sargent scene, will the Zoom meeting be available on the website afterwards? Yes, it will. Yeah, it's going to be fun, Anna. It's just going to be like an SVA class. So get the shapes in. Now, today is not about accuracy. Today is about impressionism. So I could just kind of outline this guy, just get in his cloak or his coat, however you want to say it, and his head, and get in his legs with his feet. So I'm just glancing at where his feet are. You can see we're doing this very, very, very loose. So now let's get the woman's cloak. He's got a coat. She's got a cloak. Okay, so their heads are she's slightly shorter, and she merges into that doorway. Okay, so the doorway, I'm looking at distances, and that doorway is going to be over here. So I'm just kind of mapping out the scene. just so I know where I'm going to be shading. Now, I'll do one where I don't map it out. I really want to be a little different for you here today, just to kind of mix things up so his knees are a little bit closer to the front of his coat and this woman's legs into that. Okay, so that's my placement. So give yourself a key. Okay, so a key would be with this particular pencil. I'm using an HB graphite pencil, which I never use, but for this it's appropriate. Here's my dark value. Okay, here's my middle tone value, and here's my light value. Okay, now I've been teaching since 1997. Okay, and I've been teaching on my website since 2008. So I've been doing a lot of teaching. This is the most overlooked thing that people just discount because it seems so very simple and it seems like a waste of time. Hey, Travis, listen, this is what I see over my years and experience of teaching. This is what people struggle with the most. And this is why their final images, something might be missing. Maybe there's not enough contrast, or maybe their image is too black and white, or maybe their image is too gray and muddy. So this is something that you really got to do. You should work along with me, actually. Or I've been looking forward to a Zoom class quite late night over here. But yeah, okay. I'm going to try to make them all different times. Okay. Yeah, the brick is awesome on this. So with that said, let's dive into it. So I really kind of wanted to do this. I'm not going to do it with perspective. I'm going to do it up and down because it's just going to be faster. I'm going to do like a bunch of different things. So don't dive in and use your darkest dark first. Establish the middle tone. And again, this is my opinion as a teacher. There's a gazillion teachers out there. Everybody's a teacher on YouTube, and there's a lot of good ones, and there's a lot of okay ones. Doesn't matter. This is what I feel is, graphite making that weird noise. Oh my God, I'm not used to that. I feel that just being able to do a solid value like that is what people struggle with the most. So let's not stay in that section. Let's keep going. Oh, the graphite noise. So this is getting lighter over here. So squint at the painting. I can't really see oh, there it is. Okay, got a little bigger. I'm not even looking at. So this is going to be a light middle tone. Okay. And I'm going to use all the values, but you really want to think about 3 values. So I'll try to be a little bit more primitive at the beginning. So that's our middle tone, light, and let's do the coats now. Let's establish the dark. So every great piece of art, in my opinion, again, it's just my opinion. Other teachers could say, no, Matt, you're wrong. And that's cool. Everybody's going to teach their own way. Every great piece of art that I've seen has a strong foundation of value structure of 3 values, just like this. So we're generalizing, and we are trying to draw like an impressionistic painter right now. Okay, so now we have this woman's cloak into her hair. I kind of should have kept her face a little lighter, but it's all good. And now this entranceway. Boy, we got lots of... what inspired you to do graphite today? You know, it was actually almost 9 o'clock, and I still didn't even know what I wanted to do for the live stream. The reason why I'm doing the graphite is just because what I say all the time about my infamous Col-Erase pencil that I love so very much is it's a great pencil, but it takes long to do the value studies, and it just is something that you have to build up the value with. So I just wanted to mix it up. I'm not going to switch to graphite. It's not my medium. I don't like it. I'm just trying to work with something that a lot of people work with, graphite. Now, let me resharpen. Magdalena is one of my favorite names. Magda, I had a student many, many years ago. One of my first Saturday classes, maybe this was like 2001, and I had a student, Magda, and she was really talented. So, that That was a great group of students back in the day. School of Visual Arts in room 607 with the big skylight in the room. James McCormick, what's up, man? Your HB is darker than my crappy 2B on my hand right now. Yeah, yeah. So sharp pencil is going to be key. Now, that woman's face is not white. It's light, but not white. So let me just push this a little bit more. So I could say right now that that's my 3-value study. Okay? So that's 3 values. Let's push it. Let's push it. This is the structure of the painting. This is the structure of the painting. And this is what I would highly recommend that you take the time to do and do this for your own paintings. And how long did that take? How long are we in? So we're into this live stream 15 minutes. I've been talking and chatting for maybe 5. So maybe that took 10 minutes, but really this should take you 5 minutes. Okay, this should take you 5 minutes. Just, it's good for many things. Okay, it depends on your paper pencil combination. That's everything. So this is something that will help you with your paint, with your digital paint, with making a solid image. So let's push it just a little bit. Let's make it really impressionistic. So now we're going to work with, even though the title of this live stream was 3-value studies, that's my 3-value study. Now we're going to try to do all of the values. So we're just going to say it's like 10. So maybe now we're going to move on and we're going to try to match the values. So on the ground here, this is lighter than the walls. So what I say to my students over and over and over again is different things should have different values. Okay, so it just makes the walls look like the walls if you have the ground a different value than the walls. Okay, now over here, you take the edge off of that. Over here, there's a little bit of a middle tone right near that guy's head. I'm going to lower the ground where the ground meets, well, I should say the end of the alleyway. Little middle tone over here. There's a dark window right next to this guy's head. I'm not going to make it super dark. There's some kind of veranda thing and a second floor up top over there. Okay. And now I'm going to just go a little bit more edgy. I don't want to go too dark with the end of the alleyway, but there's a window over here. There's an overhang to the window. I'm being very soft and impressionistic. That's a value study, soft and impressionistic, not sharp. Okay. Again, the key here is, hey, Aurora, I remember that classroom, my first class with you, Marie. Yeah, that class was great. It was a little cold in the wintertime, though. Yeah, that skylight was the best. That's where I learned how to paint, kind of, in that classroom. So I'm going to just press down a little bit harder on my border. This is another little trick that you want to do with your value studies. Just press down harder on your border, and it will create a border. Just makes your images pop a little bit more. Okay, so this guy's hat, I want to make him... So one of the hardest edges is on the guy's coat here. So hard edge. Where you want the viewer to look first. Nice hard edge on the back of the cloak. Okay, and let's get his other leg and let's get his other foot. Not necessary, but I'm going to do it anyways. Let's go darker over here. Yeah, my drawing board's at a 45-degree angle. Excuse me, I got a scratchy throat. It's so annoying. I apologize. Yeah, you could go to, I have one right here. 1 second. I know I'm being a little rude getting out of the video monitor. You could go to any hardware store and get just grays that people would paint their homes with. This is from Benjamin Moore. And this could be your value scale, okay? And you could use this, and you can get this anywhere. You don't have to buy one, okay? Please tell about some career in art, please. I'm not quite sure of that question. Is this thumbnail painting? Yes. Boy, some of your names are so hard to pronounce. I Can't besak. Okay, so that's going to be my value study for that piece. Of course, I would want it a little bit more atmospheric. Atmospheric is softness. Let's go softer over here. See, I'm holding my pencil further back. It's just easier for me today to get those lighter values. Sometimes I can get them holding my pencil different ways, but today we're holding it this way with graphite. Graphite's a little weird to me. Let's keep going here. Let's just have a gradation on this wall. So we're being very impressionistic. This doorway could be a little taller. Is this important? No. The measurements are not that important, but it's just, this is what we would be doing at the museum. I have my students do this too when we talk about composition, and this is what I ask my animation students to do when they are working on their thesis storyboards, to do a value study. And digitally, I ask them to do it digitally because most of them are working in Photoshop. And it's just one of the most valuable things that you can do. And okay, so maybe this value study is almost done. Go a little darker over here. There's some stuff here. We can go, well, let's bring that wall this way. I don't want to go so dark with the brick on the wall because it's not black. His cloak or coat is black or dark, however you want to say it. Yeah, I can't draw flat. First of all, my neck would probably break, bending my neck over my body to look at a flat piece. But it's just, I find that when my students come into the classroom and they're 18 years old and they've been drawing flat, they're used to drawing flat at home, and their drawings tend to be a little bit more distorted. The feet tend to be really big and the head tends to be really small. So when you work flat, there is a little bit of distortion. Okay, so that's why I think working at a 45-degree angle is a nice happy medium between working vertically and working totally vertical on an easel and working totally flat. That's why I really like a 45-degree angle. Okay, so when are the museums? I think the Metropolitan Museum is open. Career options in the arts. Okay, so let's just go with what there would be in our college. Illustration, illustration department, cartooning department, animation department, fine arts department, interior design department. And then within those careers, there's little subsets. So if you want to be an illustrator, you can be an illustrator that does advertising illustration, or you can do book illustration, or you can do children's book illustration, or you can do, I don't know, technical illustration, medical illustration. So the list goes on and on. Yeah, Chicago is kaput. Okay. All right. So I'm going to say that value study is done. The ground, if I'm looking at it small, this needs to be a value darker. But, okay, so here's another reason why you need to do this. You can tell immediately whether or not your image is going to work. So if it doesn't work in a small thumbnail sketch like this, it's not going to work big. And some people will work on a painting for like 6 hours, 7 hours, 3 days, and like 2 days in, they're like, oh, this painting's not working. I don't know why it's not working. It's not working because the artist did not take 10 minutes to do a value study to see if the artwork worked before they dove into it. Okay? So really, really important. Where do we look first? We look right at these two people talking, and then we look down the alleyway. I should really stop right now and I'm going to move on to the next one. Let me just look at some comments. Snow, welcome. Got to see the Monet show. Yeah, is that at the Met or Toronto? Yeah, lockdown. I'm sure there's tons of great museums in Toronto. I have relatives in Toronto. I used to go to Toronto every year and get a new hockey jersey. Yep. Yeah, I got really great jerseys from Maple Leaf Gardens from family over there. Okay, so we're done. That one's done. That's my value study. 3 values. Look at how the value structure is solid. Now, here's the, let me show you the wrong way. Excuse me. Let me show you the wrong way to do a value study of this painting very quickly. So this is what people would do that I think hurts them with their artwork. So they'd put like a little dark over here, and then they'd see like some dark brick wall, and they'd put some dark bricks. They'd do the wall, and then they'd do the doorway really dark, and then this window would be dark. So some people might do a value study like that, and that value study has no power. Okay, so we're looking here at the top window. So that is the, in my opinion, again, it's just my opinion. You can take it or leave it. That's the wrong way to do a thumbnail sketch of value study, because there's no solid value. You've got to be like an impressionistic painter, okay? Yeah, they're really good for proportions, and they're great for color studies. So when I was an illustrator, I would do a value study with my sketches, and then I would do a color study with paint, so I can figure out the paint I was going to use before I even did the painting. Okay, so let's go to the next one. All right, so that one is done. Let's go to the next one. And this is a really great John Singer Sargent painting, once again. So we're using just Sargent today. Let me put this over here. Okay, let me get another piece of tape. Bear with me. Blue tape is my favorite friend in the studio. This is the real deal, not the cheap one. This is the Scotch Blue Original. It's a little expensive, this roll of tape, but it's really user-friendly on your paper. Drew Shark, welcome. Kazar from France, welcome. Now, it's never late to study. You just start. Just do your thing. I mean, people start new careers in their 60s. Some people even start new careers, and I know some people in their 70s. So just start. It's, don't give yourself too many rules. Now, do I really want to do this with a mechanical pencil? This is going to take forever. Do I really want to do this with a mechanical pencil? Gosh. Yeah, let's just do it. Let me get that photo reference. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to start it the same way with my mechanical pencil. Same way, I'm going to draw the sofa. So sofa's higher, or I'm sure there's a better term than sofa, something really European. European, that would sound a little bit more highfalutin than the word sofa. Okay, so I'm just outlining right now before I put in the values. You don't have to do this, but I just like doing this. Sometimes I'll just go on in there and scribble. So that's my big shape, okay? That's my big shape. And now let's just dive into this, because this is huge. So there's a gradation. So this is going to take, I'm going to do my best to go fast. This is a gradation behind them. That's another thing, and I've talked about this in another live stream video. So let me just get the middle tone established. I want to use a blend-in stump for this one, just to mix it up, just for fun. I'm just trying to show you how I'd work with different tools, but I never use these tools anymore. Okay, we call it big sofa. SETI, I like that. Yeah, God, BFA colleges. I teach at the School of Visual Arts, so I'm going to promote them. They're in New York City. In California, Cal Arts is the big school. That's really, really good. Okay, so now this is going to take a long time with this mechanical pencil, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it for you. So, okay, what is the first thing that we see? I haven't broke the tip yet. I'm very proud of that. European in the sense of old time, probably. Yes. Okay. You got it, Tim. I'm sorry for that. Let's just say old world. 1800s maybe is a better term. but it could be a sofa, actually. I'm watching this series on Netflix, and it's about the Old West, and they had furniture like this there as well. So first things first, gradation. So that's really middle tone to a dark. Is that my darkest dark? No, I can save the darkest dark for later. So let's just put in the values. So now let's go to this little boy's hair. That's going to be a dark. His sister's hair. She has dark hair. So I've established a middle tone, a dark middle tone, and now I'm beginning with the dark value. So dark value, there's a little dark value. Her hair is almost touching the top of the painting. There's that bow in her hair. So let's go really dark. I'm trying to be very primitive with this, and this is what you should do. The comments are coming in fast and hard, and I'm missing a lot of comments right now. I apologize. I just want to do this for you so you can learn here. I'll glance at the comments shortly, and let's connect over to this woman. There's some dark over here. I think it's a bow really high up. There's some dark over here. Her hair is more of a gray middle tone. So you see what I'm doing there with the darks? I think this boy's hair could be bigger. So that's a size relationship. You got to look at that. There's dark underneath his collar. And then we come down the mom's arm, and she has dark over here on her bicep. And then we come down to her waist. So this is more of a 3-value study. So we come down to her waist, and she has some dark over here. Dark over here. Okay, so let's put some dark in over here. This pencil with graphite is killing my hand more with my thumb pressing down hard than the Col-Erase. Let me just look at some comments. Yeah, Victorian. Tim, love it. I love the Victorian era. Love that. Lateral Thinking by Edward de Bono. Ari. Do you have any advice on coming up with original ideas? I would really love to be a concept artist, but I find myself struggling with that. From Poland. Here's what I tell my students. I think you're going to be much, much more successful as an artist. And that word artist is a general thing, but artist means cartoonist, illustrator, concept artist, animator. The list goes on and on. I don't want to bore you with all the terms. But I think you're going to get most of your creativity by picking subject matters that you like. Okay? So if you like really cool robot machines, draw that. If you really like fancy cars, like supercars, well then incorporate that in your artwork. And if you do that, I feel that your creativity will blossom. If you're working on a subject matter that you do not like, your creativity will not blossom. So that's my philosophy. The subject matter of what you illustrate, fine art, cartoon, animate, that's really the linchpin for success. And I find that people, when they do not incorporate what they like in their artwork, their success goes down. So, for instance, like when I first started out as an illustrator, the reason why I was an illustrator is because I liked the lifestyle of being a painter and getting paid to be in my studio and paint all day. So I used to paint book covers, and that was great, and I did it for 18 years. But eventually, the subject matter really wore thin on me. I hated painting young adult book covers towards the end of my career, so I just stopped being an illustrator for multiple reasons. I stopped taking on jobs, but one of the reasons why was because I didn't feel like I was getting original ideas anymore because the subject matter was just becoming so very boring to me. Yeah, so that's the key to getting original ideas. Draw what you love, the subject matter that you love, okay? So if you like dark stuff, draw dark stuff. If you like happy-go-lucky pets, draw happy-go-lucky pets. Just enjoy hating the tools today. Yeah, I'm hating these tools too. Okay, so it's kind of the same thing. So I'm going to keep this one more of a three-value study. So we have a middle tone, we have a dark. I can go a little bit more powerful with that. This is quite so when I was an illustrator back in the day from 1990, 1991 to 2008, 2009, I would get a manuscript to read from the publisher, and I would usually read the manuscript when I took the train-in to teach at the School of Visual Arts. And when I would be reading the manuscript, if a sentence caught my eye for the book cover, I would do a thumbnail sketch on the manuscript just like this. So the scene could be, I was waiting in my bedroom looking out the window for my dad to come home, whatever. So I would sketch that in a study like this. It would take me like literally a minute, and I would do it small like this. So I would remember that scene, and then I would do a bigger rough sketch of my thumbnail, and I would try to do it in the values with the idea that different things should have different values. Now, there's a middle tone over here with this boy's sleeve. So let's put it in. So middle tone over here. Cool. And middle tone with his other sleeve. There's a middle tone over here. There's a middle tone next to the woman's chest, the mom's. Okay, and there's so this is a great way just to block in. There isn't her, all of her hair is middle tone. And there's a middle tone next to her face, right there, and it's connecting, and that blends right into the background. That's going to be my value study. So we can do like a little middle tone over here with these little floral prints on the, let's just call it sofa. Pink floral prints. Yep. Okay, so that's my value study of that piece. So notice the gradation on the wall in the background. You know, yesterday on the live stream, I was drawing, I'll show you what I was, it's right before this live stream on the playlist. So figure drawing alert, there will be but in this image. So this is what I was drawing yesterday. And I'm still thinking about the values. So with a figure drawing, my value structure for me personally, it doesn't need to be yours, is I'm going to do a dark line, a middle tone shadow, and a light light. A dark outline, a middle tone shadow, and a light light. So that would be my setup for a Caucasian model. Okay, so if I was doing, say, a model that had middle tone skin, maybe I'd switch up my value scale. You could match values, or you could manipulate values. So this is different, you know, but I'm still trying my very best to be solid with the values. Okay, that's the key. And you've got to keep your lights light, shadows shadowy. Lights light, shadows shadowy. So this is more of a light and shade with the model. This, what I'm showing you here today in the live stream, is more about things and not so much light and shade. So a thing is the sofa versus the background. A thing is the hair versus the shirt. Those are things that are going to have different values. Okay. Now, the alleyway in scene number one second. Let me try to be fancy here. So in scene number one, there is really no light in the alleyway. The alleyway is all in shade. There's light out of the alleyway towards the background. Now, in this scene, what we have is, look at the shadows on their faces. The light is coming from the right side. Okay. Jeff, welcome, Jeff. How are you, man? Haven't seen you in a while. I hope everything's going well with you. James McCormick, Danny Chen, that is the hardest part. Lots of small sketches to come up with ideas. You know, in all honesty, I wouldn't call myself an ideas guy. I think I come up with ideas and then my ideas go away. And my ideas usually come to me when I'm taking a shower. I actually saw a YouTube video that people get ideas when they take showers and when they go for walks. because it kind of does something to the your brain. Your brain fires in a different way when you're in the shower and water's hitting you. And I've got some of my best ideas in the shower, and I've got some of my best ideas walking home from the college in Manhattan. So I used to walk from 23rd Street and 2nd Avenue all the way down to Penn Station, 7th Avenue and 32nd. And during that walk, that's when I would get all of my ideas. And so sometimes you got to take yourself out of your space, like this is my space here, and that's where you're going to get good ideas. Seriously, like, and you have to, as soon as you get that idea, you have to keep a little sketchbook nearby and just put it right into your sketchbook. So there's a question here. Have you ever taken an image into Photoshop and manipulated it? Sure, absolutely. I've done that. I do that constantly when I do the video critiques. Mecha Art, welcome. Sweet Corn Art. Some people keep, yeah, a little notepad. That would be really, really cool. Officially going to art college. Good for you, Jeff. Nice job. Penn Station. Pennsylvania Station, yes. It's good practice. I wouldn't call myself an artist, but yeah, if I was an artist, a true artist, I would keep a sketchbook in with me all the time. I would say like a true artist has like their sketchbook near their bed, a sketchbook near their sofa when they watch TV, a sketchbook in their car. I don't do that. Toilet paper sketches. There you go. Yeah, on the toilet. For me, that's more of like an in and out situation. I want to get in and I want to get out. I don't want to be sketching ideas on that. Okay, so Travis, I'm doing a lot of value studies of art and notice that sometimes some things that look like good compositions and the finished product can really read pretty flat as a value study. So what you need to do, Travis, is to incorporate edges. So in image making, what you have is value, and the other thing is edges. There's a million other things as well, but let's just talk about those two right now. So if you're doing a value study and it maybe, to use your words, it looks pretty flat, try to use more hard and soft edges and think about why you're using hard and soft edges. How to prepare for college. Oh, God, it depends on your department that you're going to college for. But I would just say, college is a mindset, and the mindset would be draw a lot, paint a lot before you go to school. So for me, all I can tell you is this advice. When I was young and I was 17 years old, I was working on my portfolio to go to college. So I was in the zone. Like I was in the zone working on artwork all the time. That's the best piece of advice I can give to you. So this is the darkest dark, and that is the lightest light. That's a dark middle tone. That's a light middle tone. That's a middle tone. Okay? So the extremes are the darkest dark. Let's do one more. Let's do it with a pen. What the heck? Okay? Okay. So like I said, I stole this pen. I can't believe I'm doing this with a pen today. But this right here is a true three-value study with a gradation. Okay? So this is how you have to plan your images. All right. Light sofa, dark wall, dark hair. Where do you look first? I think I look at the mom first, and then this dark thing, and then over here. So it just is really good to control where the viewer looks. Yep. Yeah, edges, Travis, no doubt. Okay, so next one. Where are we? Cool. So I just randomly found these. Like I said, it was 9 o'clock this morning, actually later than 9 o'clock. I didn't even know what I was going to do for this live stream. I wanted to continue to work on that figure drawing, but I'm like, you know what? That's going to bore everybody. Me just kind of shading in a simple way. So let me do something that's a little bit more powerful. So, all right, let's do this one. So this one, let's talk about compositional shape. So again, I'm using an Office Depot pen. Office Depot isn't even in business anymore. So yeah, so let's just do our compositional shape. Oh God, pen. I haven't drawn with a pen in years. So I'm just going to get this light shape in. So you could squint. If you have trouble seeing the values, squint. Now, another thing that I forgot to, yeah, I stole the pen, absolutely. Another thing that I forgot to mention, and I think it's super important, when you do these studies, I think it's valuable to try to get the frame the same size as the painting. So I think this frame could be a little wider. Maybe we could move the frame over just a touch. And it is kind of tall and skinny. Maybe I should have just left it as is. So let's just draw. So try to get that frame as close as you can. It is raining so hard here today, all day rain. It's just a great day to be in and drawing. Which art movement do I adopt? Oh God, I don't know about like art movements. I just know about artists. So John Leon Jerome, John William Waterhouse, Bouguereau, Rockwell, Tom Lavelle. I just would look over at my John Singer Sargent. My favorite artist right now for many years has been Alphonse Maria Mucha. So I don't know about art movements, but I know about those artists, and those are the artists that I really like. And I know I'm leaving quite a few out. There's a lot of modern day artists that I love, and that's a story for another day. But yeah, I share a lot of those artists, that modern day contemporary artists that I love in my classroom with my students. And yeah, there's so many good contemporary artists right now. So that head's a little too big. So I want to see if so there's fabric, that dress on the floor. I think I had the shape right the first time, this line. So this pen is really skinny. My God. Okay, so shape underneath. Oh, it would be nice if I actually clicked on the bigger version of that photo so I can see it. Do you ever switch modes in abstract? No, I kind of just do. So my thing right now is figure drawing and portrait drawing, a little bit more academic style. I don't have time to sit and do like really long pieces. So I just, right now, with all the teaching that I'm doing, to keep my practice, I do a lot of studies of the figure. I don't have time to do like full bodies right now, but that would be my ideal, just doing academic full figure bodies and portraits. And that's what I enjoy doing the most. It's just I'm doing so much teaching that you have to just accept what is I'm a teacher. I'm not a fine artist where I'm in my studio all day just painting for like 10 hours a day. I wish I was. That's what I used to do. But I enjoy teaching, and so I do a lot of it. I do it on my website. I do it at the School of Visual Arts. I'm doing it right now on YouTube. So I do a lot of demonstration drawings. That's what I do. And so when I can squeeze a drawing in here and there, I'm usually doing studies of the figure. This is going to be weird with this pen. Okay. Listen, I apologize if I'm missing questions. I'm not trying to leave you out or anything. I'm not being rude. I want to do this for you guys. Let me just kind of get this done here in the pen, just to show you that this could be something that you can do off the cuff. So maybe you're traveling and you're at a hotel and you have like you steal the hotel pad from the front desk and you just start doing thumbnails. Maybe you're going to do some 3-value studies of the hotel lobby if it's a really cool looking lobby. Now with the pen, I got to be careful. So I should establish my value structure with the pen. So that's going to be my dark. Look at that. Wow, that's dark. So I can't go darker with that. This is going to be my middle tone. Establish the key. And that's going to be my light middle tone. Okay, so let's do some light middle tone. Actually, you know what? Let's do the dark. So the dark is, yeah, New York City. Absolutely. Cool. I'm just using, it's all, I usually put what I'm using in the description of the video where it says show more, but I'm just using generic Strathmore drawing paper 400 series, 80 pounds. You can buy this pad at any art supply store, on Amazon. It's everywhere. It's just a really available pad. Some papers aren't available. Truffs is going to come in. She's hanging out right now. She's sleeping. It's a great day for a dog to sleep. I had my students yesterday in class draw truffles in a Zoom class and draw my other dog, Chloe, and it was kind of fun. They did it more in a cartoony sort of way. So that could be, we're getting, if I really want to keep it simple here with this. So what do you look at first? You look at the woman's head. So we have a dark at her hair. It's a portrait of the woman, so Sargent is getting us to look at the woman's face first. Dark over here, dark over here. I don't want to shade this whole thing in. I want to keep it a little bit looser because I kind of like the way that it looks that way. There's a dark over here. Very skinny dark. There's a dark over here. So there's darks all over. It's just where is there contrast? Contrast is where the eye looks. There's a dark cast shadow. Yeah, totally. Cross-hatching would work, but another one of my favorite artists is Anders Zorn, Z-O-R-N. And just type in Anders Zorn etchings, and that's how I like to do line work. He doesn't do too much cross-hatching. He does more vertical strokes, kind of like what I'm doing over here. And vertical strokes are a very fast way to get value down. So the further apart your lines are, that's a different value. Okay, this is a different value, and I'm just doing value with line. Oh, I didn't even see the dark over here. So there's a dark over here. It could be lower. How far along are we into this live stream? 51 minutes. So this will probably go about an hour. Let's get Truffs to draw a little bit here at the end. I'm liking the way this is coming out, but I don't want you to look at that underbelly of that piece of furniture. Okay, so I want to soften that out a little bit. I don't want to do cross-hatching. I want to do just vertical strokes to stay in sync with the style. Long strokes, gradation. So this has a gradation as well. So I'm going to make her dress the lightest value. So I want this fabric behind her. That's a huge piece of fabric. My God. I want that fabric behind her to be a light middle tone. So we really are doing all the values, but I'm trying to stick with 3 values. So her dress and her skin tone is the lightest light. Even the chair is not as light as the dress. So you see, you have to squint, and you have to give yourself time to see what is happening in the painting. This is so much darker on the other side. Let's go darker here. So I would Google these images. Oh, this goes dark right up to her light dress. Google these images and just Google John Singer Sargent images big, size big. Now I'm just trying to practice what I preach and go solid. So the more solid I go, the more she pops out. See it? The floor, there's no white on the floor. So I'm just trying to get rid of the white on the floor. So that's representing my middle tone. I don't want to go so dark underneath that furniture. I'm going to kind of manipulate that value. And a little darker on the furniture. I'm just trying to take the edge off of it. So yeah, you look right at the woman. That's my favorite one with the pen. All right, cool. Would the highlights in her dress be pure white? I had a teacher, a very famous teacher, Marshall Arisman, in the illustration department in second year of college. He taught a class, history of illustration, and he said in his class, there's no such thing as pure white paint. Every white is tinted with a color. So, like right now, I'm using daylight bulbs, but if I turn these daylight bulbs off and I went next to my window and I'm wearing a white shirt, it's going to be a cool white because it's a rainy day. Okay. Now, does that mean I don't use pure white? Of course, I use pure white and I don't put color in it. But that's a really nice thing to keep in the back of your mind, that all whites should be tinted. So if there's a white highlight in your eye, maybe it could be warm, maybe it could be cool. And the same thing goes for dark, for a black. Don't I use pure black. I love ivory black. It's like one of my favorite colors. But you could tint the black. So it could be a cool black or a warm black. It depends on the overall environment. But yeah, I use pure white all the time. What is the best way to work out how to start out a drawing? I am drawing now and so okay, maybe I'll just close with this. Let me go get Truffs in a minute as well regarding what is the most important thing to show in a portfolio. You mean a portfolio for college. The most important thing to show is that you're not copying other people's art. You should listen to the live stream, yesterday's live stream, because I talked all about portfolios for pre-college. And your portfolio is really all about the department you're going to apply to. So what you would put in an animation portfolio would be extremely different than an illustration portfolio. Okay. So in an animation portfolio, you have to show movement, motion, gesture drawings. In an illustration portfolio, you need to show technical skill with paint and color and tell stories. Okay. There was a question here. Have you ever? So the best way to start a drawing is going to be different for everybody. Okay, so when I would work out a sketch for an illustration, I have a whole course on how to do this. It's called a process course over at my website, drawingtutorialsonline.com. And how I say I like to start is with a sentence for the scene. Okay, so the sentence for this scene could be, John walked Sally back to her home in a foggy or dark alleyway. I don't know. But that's how I would start for an illustration, with a sentence. And the sentence usually came from the author who wrote the book. And then I would find my background reference. So that's how I started a piece. I had to have a sentence and the background image. The Zoom class is for members of the website. This is what I do on YouTube for non-members, but for members, I try to do other things. And so if you're a member of the website, sure, you could join, absolutely. Because I don't want to just do free stuff and then I have people who are paying me to be a member of the website and I don't do anything special for them there. That wouldn't be cool. How the website works is if you join the website, there's dozens of courses, many videos, many hours of videos that you would never be able to get through, but the content is organized. There's also photo reference there that you can download. There's online pose videos. There's a podcast that I do every week. Now, podcast is you talking to somebody else. I don't really talk to anybody else. I just call it a podcast. I've called it that forever since 2008 because it was something that you can download on iTunes. I don't do that anymore, but I still kept the name podcast. And in the podcast, I answer member questions and I work in Photoshop and I answer questions that way. I'll analyze things that they ask me about. And also in the members area of the website, I do video critiques of member artwork every single Monday. So you can upload your artwork and I'll critique it for you. So that's what I do at the website. There's a lot of content there. There's too much content. There's painting that I do, oil painting. There's a little digital painting. There's tons of portrait classes, figure drawing classes, anatomy. There's everything at the website, composition, all that fun stuff. All right, so let me go get Truffs because Truffs wants to say hello. Okay. Be right back. Hey, Truffs, how you doing? Everything okay with you today? Huh? You want to draw? Yeah, you want to snore is what you... Oh, God. Listen to the snoring. You're tired today, Truffs, right? It's a rainy day. Let's do a little sketching. What material do you think you'd want to use today? You want to try the pen? Actually, you know what? Let's go to the HB, Truffs. Let's try that, okay? So let's do a little sketching here. Oh, you just screwed, Truffs, you just screwed it up. You didn't do the right pencil stroke direction. Let's do some bricks, Truffs, okay? So there's a little brick over here. There's some bricks over here. Let's get the perspective right, Truffs. Come on, don't screw that up. And is there anything on the ground? I don't have that reference out. So let's do a little bit of the window over here, Truffs. Truffs, your skin, you got allergies, and this is from chasing rabbits in the backyard. Her paws are like really, really red, and I think she has allergies. So yeah, Truffs, show your face a little bit there. All right. Just looking at some comments. Yeah, the pen, actually, I really enjoyed the pen. And quite frankly, the pen is my most favorite one. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, I love the pen. So that's how you do a 3-value study into an all-value study. And I cannot tell you how valuable it is for you to do this sort of thing, okay? People want to jump to the dessert. The dessert is taking your paints out, squeezing the paint out on the palette, and start painting. Especially if you're working all week, or you're going to school, or if, let's say you have a full-time job and art is your hobby, and it's Saturday and you only have like one day to really work. You want to paint and you want to do a final painting, but take 10 minutes and do a value study like this. I can't tell you how much it will really improve your outcome in the end if you can do this. And it could be smaller. It could be like 1 inch by 1.5 inches. It doesn't need it doesn't need to be like so big. So for me, like people ask me, well, people say to me on YouTube, you're so talented, how did you get to draw that way? For me, as an illustrator, it was hundreds and hundreds of thumbnail sketches just like this, then rough sketches, and every time I had an illustration job, I had to do 3 to 4 rough sketches. Then I'd get feedback from the art director. Then I had to do 3 final sketches. And then I needed to do the final underdrawing. And then I needed to do the underpainting, and then the final painting. So there was a lot of repetition involved. And I've got hundreds of these all over the place, all over my house. And so this is what you need to do for image making. This is completely different than figure drawing. It's completely different than gesture drawing with the model. It's all about figuring out the value structure of your artwork, and then playing with some edges and asking yourself the question, where do I want the viewer to look first? Where do I want the viewer to look second? And that's really, really, these are important questions, okay? All right, so thank you guys so much. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. That would be really, really cool. And if you want a free course, you can head on over to members.drawingtutorialsonline.com. There's a link in the show more part of this video, and you could sign up with your email, get notified with your email when I go live. I really want to start going live on Instagram. I think that'd be fun. I just got to figure out how to do it on a desktop. But you'll get a free course. You'll get notified of when I'm going to send out emails, so you know when the live streams are going to happen. And thanks again. I really do appreciate you guys watching me here on Saturdays. Dennis, thank you. Okay, gotcha. Understood. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Kai. I can't say your name. Ash, thank you. Enos, thank you. Nancy, thank you. Ari, thank you. Made by Dawn, I appreciate you joining. Kat, have a great rainy day. It's probably beautiful where you are. Carol, Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate you coming. And Aurora, thank you for joining. Beth, I'll see you in Port Jeff. Sandy, thank you so much. Yeah, sometimes going over these basics over and over again helps because you don't hear things the first time. Anna, Kim, thank you. Marie, thank you. Dana, have a great weekend. Marissa, Frankie J. Yeah, you got it, Frankie. I want to work on that drawing today too. I just got to do this thing called a Christmas tree. Juan, that's a cool name. James, appreciate you joining us. Jack, Sweet Corn Art, Timothy, thanks for joining, Timothy. I really do appreciate it. James K, Neil, Kat. It's a bit cold, but yeah, you stink. All right, guys, I'll see you soon. Okay, have a great day, everybody.